Einen wunderschönen herzlich willkommen zurück zu einer weiteren Folge von Lamplight City. Nächster Tatort, also ehemaliger. Wir gehen hier zur Eisenhütte, wir machen das rückwärts jetzt. Ich denke mal, das wird sich hier vorrangig auch um... Oh.
Well, that doesn't look good.
Nee.
This place sure is big. I wonder if they actually make anything useful.
Hm. Zum Bereich der Arbeiter, okay. Was hier passiert?
Excuse me, sir. Are you in charge here?
Unfortunately. Who are you? This area isn't open to the public.
I'm Miles Fordham, and I'm a private investigator looking into the murder of one of your workers.
A private investigator, eh? And maybe you can help me out.
Okay.
I'll do what I can, but I'll need to ask you some questions, Mr.
Mims. Sanford Mims. Go ahead, but make it snappy.
What can you tell me about Hannibal Kirkland? A former employee here?
Listen, I've got a lot on my mind right now.
I understand, but it's important to my investigation that you tell me what you know about him.
I'm sure it is, but as you can see, I've got a lot to deal with right now.
Well, he's no help. Maybe you can figure out a way to help him help us.
What happened to your iron mill?
What's it look like? The damn thing went and got blown up.
Was it in disrepair?
Of course not. All my machinery is sound, checked and serviced regularly. This is the work of those goddamn Redites. I'm sure of it.
What makes you certain the explosion was the Redites doing?
Take a look, boy. The whole mill got taken out. Even if this had been a mechanical failure, which it wasn't, the explosion would have been contained to a single part of the machine. This couldn't have been anything other than sabotage.
Have you had problems with the Redites before?
They've sent anonymous letters, but this is the first time they've actually carried out one of their threats.
You're absolutely sure this was sabotage, then?
Yes. How many times have I got to tell you that? Listen, you said you were an investigator, right? So find out who did this to my machine.
Ja, ich glaube, das war ein
If you do,
Versagen
I'll
von
help you
irgendjemandem.
out with whatever else you wanted to ask me about.
Looks like we haven't got much of a choice. He seems pretty upset about his machine.
I'll see what I can do.
Okay, pass
I'll be
auf.
going now.
Be careful on your way out.
Ich glaube, das ist hier, Oh. Ich speichere mal sicherheitshalber.
Completely ruined. Whoever sabotaged this knew what they were doing. Completely...
Gehen wir mal zu den Arbeitern. Ich glaube...
Hey, that area is for workers only.
My apologies. Mr. Mims, a word if you wouldn't mind?
Yes, what is it?
How long have you been the foreman here?
Sometimes I think it's been too long. Things were so much easier before we got these machines. They keep saying they're supposed to improve our lives, but they've been nothing but trouble. I've already had 5 of my best men get mangled by some of them. And then there's these damn fools blowing things up. My hair wasn't this gray 5 years ago, you know. I swear one of these days, I'm just going to pack it all up and retire. Let someone else deal with these damn things.
Are you sure you can't tell me anything about Hannibal Kirkland?
It's like I've told you, I've got to deal with this mess. I don't have time for your questions.
Are you familiar with the Justice Killer?
The who?
He's a serial murderer who's killed 5 men over the past 4 months.
Is that right? Never heard of him.
He may have killed one of your men. Weren't the police here asking about it?
Oh, is that what that was all about? I know they came poking around here a while back, but I was busy dealing with other things.
It's nice to see the lines of communication here are wide open.
I'll be going now.
Be careful on your way out.
Completely ruined.
Ich glaube, hier fehlt noch was, was wir suchen müssen. Okay, dann gehen wir mal zum nächsten Tatort.
Huh, they seem to be making pretty decent progress. I wonder if it would be any fun to tie yourself to that thing and go for a few spins. Safe for only 25 men at once. I used to draw the line at 2.
Excuse me.
Hey, what are you doing here? This is a construction area.
I'm Miles Fordham, a private investigator. I'm looking into the murder of a man who used to work here.
Fordham? You the same man who got Laura Dupre arrested?
Ja.
Yes, that's right.
Ah, good to meet you. I'm Gerard. My sister Amelie used to work as her cook. Would tell me stories
okay,
about
daher
how
weiß er das.
horrible Dupre was. Good to see some justice done for a change.
Glad to be of service. And good to meet you as well, Gerard.
So you say you looking into a murder? You talking about Bowditch?
Ja.
Yes, that's right. I had a few questions for you, if you don't mind.
Nah, should be okay to talk for a few minutes.
You worked with Mr Bowditch, right? What can you tell me about him?
Ennis was fun to talk to, always telling stories. Pretty sure most of them were made up. But it made time go by faster while we worked, and he made me laugh. We weren't really friends, but it's duller without him around, you know?
Schon doof.
Do you know what Bowditch did on his off time?
Not really. I only saw him on the job. But I know he was seeing a woman. I forget what he said her name was, though.
Did he mention anything else about her?
Oh, sure, but I don't think they're the type of thing that would help you, if you get my meaning.
Right. Anything of a non-personal nature that might help me find her?
Yes, he mentioned she worked as the serving girl at the ruined coffee house.
I see. Thanks.
War das nicht schon mal das Kaffeehaus?
Do you know any details concerning Bowditch's murder?
I only found out when the boss man told us.
Can you think of anyone who might have wanted him dead?
Well, everyone here liked him. I don't think he owed no one money or nothing like that. But maybe someone at his other job wasn't so friendly with him. Who knows?
Other job?
Ennis also worked at the docks as a longshoreman.
Well, that would have been handy to know sooner. Better late than never, I guess.
Are you familiar with the Justice Killer?
Justice killer? No, I don't know anything about that. Who is he?
A serial murderer. He's the one who killed Mr Bowditch.
And you trying to find him?
That's the plan.
Well then, I wish you luck. Ennis didn't deserve to die the way he did. I hope that murdering bastard gets what he deserves.
Klar, wir sind doch fällig hier. Wir machen
So,
das.
the Gascon-Chumley Bridge is finally being worked on.
That's right. The project started up again shortly after the election. That Leroy, he's not wasting any time. Maybe
Ich wette, das ist Leroy.
For the country.
Das stinkt so
Indeed.
dolle.
I think it will be. How long before the bridge is complete, do you think?
They say it will take 5 years, but who knows? As long as the work is steady, you won't find me complaining.
Do you normally work in construction?
Mostly. Sometimes I'd be doing other jobs here and there. But I'm lucky to have gotten this job. I think it will keep me in work for a long time. Which is good, because I have 3 mouths to feed at home.
Be
Okay.
sure to watch yourself then. I hear these types of jobs can be dangerous.
Oh, believe me, I know. One slip up and bam! That's the end of you.
Okay.
But I always watch myself.
How's your sister doing?
Good. She still works for the Dupre family, but with that monster Laura gone, she's much happier. She tells me the family is acting like the madame never existed, and the husband raised Amelie's pay, too.
That does sound like an improvement.
It's just a shame 2 others had to die for it.
Tja, aber dafür können wir ja nichts, ne? Wir haben es ja erst aufgedeckt.
Would you happen to know anything about the Redites?
I heard some of the other men talking about them, but I don't ask too many questions. Seems to me they just a bunch of angry and confused people with no other way to express themselves and lashing out. I admit I feel sorry for them.
You're not worried about steam tech putting you out of a job?
Nah. Machines can only do so much. You still need a man to make them work or to fix them when they're broke. I think them Redites are just making a big fuss over nothing.
Thank you, Gerard. I appreciate the information.
Not a problem, boss.
Ja. Haben wir noch was? Nö. Okay, dann gehe ich ja mal raus. Es ist aber noch da, ne?
Blank surfaces don't stay that way for very long around here. Ah, the chum. You can never truly get away from it as much as you may try. This sign could use a fresh coat of paint.
Trevor Hastings?
Trevor Hastings, is that you?
Why,
Genau.
Detective Fordham. Fancy seeing you again. What brings you down to the docks?
I'm trying to track down a serial murderer, who I believe is the same man who was breaking into the flower shop.
You don't say. I wish I could help you, but the guy never came back after the night you and your partner came around. Where is your partner anyway?
Oh, he's around.
Well, give him my regards. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to get this crate back, or Cecilia will have my head on a platter.
Of course. Good seeing you again.
He's around. That's probably the most clever thing you've said in months. Well done.
Keep up the good work, Mr. Hastings.
Dann gucken wir mal hier rein. Ist aber seltsam, dass man hier so alte Figuren wieder trifft.
Huh? What? Who is it?
Hello, sir. I was wondering if I could ask you a few questions.
Go ahead, but make it quick. Time is money, after all.
Did you employ a man named Mr Bowditch?
I did, yes. He only worked for me occasionally, but he was always punctual and performed his job well. I learned recently that he had been killed. It was a tremendous
stand im
shame.
Weg. Hat
Workers
gesehen,
of
die
his
Kiste.
caliber are so hard to come by.
Do you have any information relating to Mr. Bowditch's murder?
I'm afraid not. The truth is, I knew very little about him. It's the same with most of my men. I have a business to run, you see. It affords me very little time to socialize.
Was ist, wenn er sterben musste, weil er halt das mit den Blumen gesehen hat? Wobei, die sind ja im Blumenladen geklaut
Are
worden.
you familiar with the Justice Killer?
I believe I saw a headline in the newspaper recently mentioning that name, but I dismissed it as fear-mongering nonsense. There are more important things I need to worry about.
But the Justice Killer is directly responsible for the death of one of your workers.
Oh? Is that right? Well, there's nothing I can do about it. What my men get up to in their off time is none of my business.
Wow, this guy is even worse than you, Miles.
Och komm.
What does your work here involve?
I'm in charge of tracking and cataloging all the cargo that passes through here. I receive the shipping manifest and make sure that things get unloaded and sent to the right places.
And you do all this by yourself?
Well, of course not. I'm in charge of administration. A team of workers does all the heavy lifting.
Thank you for your time. I'll let you return to work.
Right you are.
Dann frage ich ihn mal hier.
Keep up the good work, Mr. Hastings.
Okay, frage ich ihn nicht.
What, you want me to howl at it or something?
Quatsch. Tja, nächste Spur. Na klar, da waren wir ja immer. Das ist ziemlich hipster geworden, ja?
Self-Portrait as a Desperate Man by B. Calvin. A bit like looking in the mirror, isn't it, Miles?
Klar. Guck mal, hier pennt schon einer, ein Gast.
Asleep at a coffee house. One of life's little ironies.
Nur bei denen, wo Koffein nicht mehr wirkt, ne?
Not in much of a hurry to clean up in here, are they? What a cheery reminder of everyone's impending death. That whole thing about the man in the black robe, complete lie, by the way. Nice seaside landscape. Definitely a stark contrast to the ambiance in here. A young woman holding a guitar. Completely the wrong way, I might add.
Begging your pardon, miss.
How can I help you, sir?
Tja, stimmt, mit der haben wir noch gar nicht geredet.
I understand you were involved with Mr. Bowditch.
Was involved, yes. I haven't spoken to him in nearly 2 months.
Oh, were you not aware of his death then?
What? Ennis is dead?
Well, this is awkward.
Indeed. I'm sorry to have to be the bearer of bad news.
How did it happen?
I'm afraid he was murdered.
Murdered? By who? And why?
Those are exactly the questions I'm trying to answer myself.
Oh, I see. Are you a detective?
Ja.
A private investigator, yes.
Well, I'll answer what I can, if it helps any.
Na
that
klar,
is.
das hilft
I'm
alles.
certain it will. What was your relationship with Mr. Bowditch like?
Oh, well, it was nice at first. He was a proper gentleman-like. But then something changed.
Oh?
It's like I told Ruby. I think he might have got hit on the head at work because he seemed to be a completely different person. He'd get angry for no reason. He even... Well, that bit's not...
Was?
At first, I thought he was just going through some rough times, but after a while I realized he'd changed for the worse. So I broke things off. He wasn't too happy about it, but I wasn't going to stick with a man like that.
Could you tell me more about this Ruby you mentioned?
Ruby? Oh, I've known her since we were little. She's my dearest friend. There's not a secret between us. She was a great help when I kicked Dennis to the curb. I'm lucky to know her. Everyone should have someone like Ruby in their life.
Das ist die Verbindung. Und deswegen auch Justice, weil er eben halt gewalttätig geworden ist, wahrscheinlich.
Are you familiar with the Justice Killer?
Justice Killer? Is that some kind of pesticide?
No, it isn't. Never mind. You've been working here for quite a while, haven't you?
I have, yes. Coming up on 3 years. Been a real pleasure getting to know all the regulars. They've come to be sort of like a second family. By the way, whatever happened with you and your lady friend?
I beg your pardon?
Well, that nice lady you met in here a couple of times. Did it work out
Upton.
between the two of you?
Oh, that? No, that was strictly business.
Right. Well, if you see her, tell her I said hello.
I'll let you get back to work.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Das heißt, wir haben hier eine weitere Information, dass er doch nicht der hundertprozentig Liebste war.
You there! What are you doing?
I'm Miles Fordham. I'm trying to find out about...
No time for that now! Get in here and shield your eyes!
I beg your pardon?
Just do it!
What's going on exactly?
Shh! Everything ready, Alex? 3, 2, 1, go!
Wow.
Amazing! It works! It works!
What works?
Etheric lamps! Our experiment was a success!
What exactly have we wandered into here, Miles?
Gute Frage.
I wouldn't get too close to that thing. It might end up turning you inside out. So this is where all the lamps in the city come from. I can't believe I never bothered finding out before. There's the bunch of crap they used to build street lamps with.
Ich dachte, das könnte man mitnehmen. Wäre cool gewesen.
May I ask you a few questions?
Of course! What would you like to know?
Okay, Doc Brown? Ja, okay, sowas wie Doc Brown.
You worked with a man named Burley Cause, is that right?
Yes, I heard he was killed. Such a senseless tragedy. It's a shame he missed out on our demonstration. He was really interested in etheric technology.
Wasn't he concerned about losing his job to these technological advances?
He had no reason to. It's been made clear to all the workers that there will always be a place for us, even if our jobs are made obsolete. Unlike some other places, we take care of our own here at the Lamplight Depot.
How noble. But I'm pretty sure he's full of more hot air than the HMS Lenore.
Is there anything you know about Mr. Cause's personal life that might be relevant?
I know he was married, but I don't believe he had any children. Oh, and he used to talk about his love for fishing.
Could you give me his home address? Perhaps his wife will be willing to speak with me.
Yes, certainly. He lived at 820 Orchard Avenue, apartment 2A.
Thank you for the information. Do you know any details about Mr. Cause's murder?
Unfortunately, I don't. The police were here asking questions, but they didn't give me many details.
Do you know of anyone who might have wanted him dead?
Not at all. Burley was very friendly, always treated everyone around here with respect. You know, it's sad to think that for all our leaps forward, we're still really just a bunch of savages.
Are you familiar with the Justice Killer?
I've read about it in the newspaper. A horrible business. It makes me wish we could install more street lamps to keep this city safer at night. Someday, I hope to realize that dream. Then we'll really deserve to be called Lamplight City.
You think brighter streets will stop serial murderers?
It's well known that crime rates are lower in Lyon and Worcester, and they have many more street lamps per square mile.
I'm sure it has absolutely nothing to do with the amount of wealth in those areas. It has to be all about the lighting.
You mentioned something about etheric lamps?
Yes! Weren't you paying attention to our demonstration? You have just witnessed history!
What I witnessed was a blinding flash of light.
Exactly! That flash was the result of years of painstaking research and experimentation. It means that not only does ethericity exist, but it can be used as a source of illumination. If these experiments continue to be successful, as I suspect they will, we'll have etheric street lamps before the end of the decade. Imagine lamps that burn twice as bright, 4 times as long. Oh, this will change everything.
And if it's like anything else we've seen, it'll put a lot of people out of work, too.
With all these promises of technological advancement, have the Redites given you any trouble?
Oh, those tech-fearing dolts. Yes, I'm sorry to say that we've gotten threats from them. They have yet to carry any out, which is unsurprising.
How so?
Groups like that are all bluster and no backbone.
I've seen some evidence to the contrary.
Is that right? Well, we've seen little beyond threatening letters, and I intend to make sure it stays that way.
You have any of these letters I might have a look at?
Yes, I have one. I'll give it to you before you leave.
What is it you do here exactly?
Oh, several things. This is the main hub of the city's Department of Illumination. It's really just a grandiose way of saying that this is where all affairs related to street lamps and public lighting are taken care of. But in addition to sending out lamplighters or mechanics to repair damaged lamps, we also do research into new methods of illumination. That's what my personal specialization is. I help develop and test more efficient ways of lighting our streets. I guess you could consider me a modern-day Prometheus. Oh, yes.
More like an everyday pretentious.
Thank you. Your cooperation is much appreciated.
Happy to help. Here's that letter you were asking about.
An die Ingenieure des Chaos und der Zerstörung. Ihr arbeitet im völligen Gegensatz zur natürlichen Ordnung der Dinge. Eure sogenannten Verbesserungen werden der Untergang unserer Gesellschaft sein. Wenn ihr eure unsäglichen Experimente nicht beendet, sind die Reddits gezwungen, aktiv zu werden. Lasst euch das eine Warnung sein. P.F.
Now that's interesting. Whoever wrote this letter signed it with initials. They can't have been so stupid as to make themselves so easily identifiable. Can they?
Tja, wer weiß das so genau? Wir werden es rausfinden.
Dad, you didn't get a chance to read that sign before their little experiment.
Genau, wir werden es rausfinden, und zwar in der nächsten Folge. Vielen, vielen Dank fürs Zusehen. Es wird spannend und es bleibt spannend. Bis zur nächsten Folge. Euer Firefox.